Fran Drescher delighted viewers on The Nanny thanks to her character's endearing relationship with the preppy Sheffield children, one of whom was Madeline Zima, who played the young Grace. If you haven't seen Zima since her days hanging out with Nanny Fran, you might not recognize her today. The acting bug didn't just bite Madeline Zima, it bit her two younger sisters too. Vanessa and Yvonne Zima have been acting since around the time that their elder sister broke into the industry, and they've even worked together a handful of times. Vanessa's first role was on The Nanny, playing Grace Sheffield's friend, and in 2011 she co-starred in The Absent with Yvonne. The two younger sisters also worked together on the 2016 TV movie Killing Mommy, although it seems that Madeline is less inclined to collaborate with her sisters on projects. Zima was asked where the family's knack for acting came from during an interview with Switchbox TV, to which she jokingly replied, "I think that we just don't have any other skill sets." Zima went on to describe Yvonne as an avid, voracious reader, saying that storytelling comes naturally to her youngest sister. She's also called Vanessa a very creative person, stating, "It probably comes from our mom. I mean, my mom was a dance instructor and she was in plays and she wrote a book on how to run a dance studio. She was just very much like a Renaissance woman." Rewatching some of our favorite shows years later means we're likely to pick up on things that we didn't before. But few probably noticed that Madeline Zima wasn't actually enjoying her time on The Nanny.
I don't know how to say this without hurting you.
Well, just be honest.
Her character Grace had unresolved issues, leading her to attend therapy and speak to imaginary friends. But the actor's unhappiness revolved around how she was treated by others while working on the sitcom. In 2013, Zima spoke with TV Page about how she felt back then, claiming that she'd had positive experiences on the sets of other projects like The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Unfortunately, things were different on The Nanny. She remarked, "There was just a kindness and a sensitivity that didn't exist on the set of The Nanny. They treated me more like a prop than like a human being. At a certain point, I can't pretend like it was some great experience anymore." Zima had spent many years speaking positively about the show due to its massive fan base, but eventually she grew tired of pretending, saying, "I would rather be honest." Although Madeline Zima admitted that her time on The Nanny was less than ideal, it turns out that her discussion about it with TV Page was actually meant to be off the record. In a 2019 interview with KTLA5, Zima explained that while she stands by her statement, it doesn't mean that she lost sight of how valuable the work was for her as an actor. She remarked, "I am grateful for The Nanny and the experience. It changed me as a person, but for the best." In 2020, Zima further discussed what it was like to work on the sitcom as a child actor, growing up in front of the camera. In an interview for the morning show, she said that she acted on The Nanny between the ages of 6 and 13, adding, "Those are pretty intense years to be involved in something like this." During this time, Zima got to learn the ins and outs of the industry up close at an impressionable age. She explained, "I got a first-hand masterclass in sitcom comedy and professionalism." To top it all off, Zima viewed Fran Drescher as a remarkable role model. After all, she had been the brain behind The Nanny in the first place. The way child stars are treated early in their career can influence whether they decide to pursue acting in their adult life. By the time The Nanny wrapped, Madeline Zima had been in quite a few films and television shows, but it wasn't until she was barely a teen that she made the decision to continue acting long-term. Zima was cast in the 2000 TV movie The Sandy Bottom Orchestra, and it changed everything for her. As she told Cryptic Rock in a 2019 interview, "At the time, I was really interested in Greek mythology. That film and the way Glenn Headley and Tom Irwin treated me changed me as a person and artist. I look at that as a turning point that I decided I wanted to pursue this. I felt that storytelling had a lineage all the way back to ancient Greece that can be a profound way for people to heal and understand their lives." From that point, Zima's career flourished as she went on to book parts on a number of shows and movies. Where she may not have had the most positive experience working in the industry as a kid, Zima now knew how it felt to be respected and uplifted while working with other actors.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? You were just, calling me over.
No, I was, totally ambivalent.
An incredible opportunity came knocking when Madeline Zima scored an audition for the Showtime series Californication. But it wasn't an easy process. As she explained to Movie Hole in 2007, "When I auditioned with David Duchovny, I felt sure enough of myself to take a few risks, but then I had an audition for the network that was, well, not the best." Zima tried the scene a couple of times, and despite a rocky start, she managed to deliver. She was later thrilled to learn that she'd landed the recurring role of Mia Lewis, a manipulative and scheming teen who blackmails, lies, and steals Hank's writing. While speaking with Movie Junk in 2022, Zima emphasized how little she related to her character on Californication, even though she was still able to channel her own experiences into the antagonist she played. She explained, "I didn't relate to the character that much, but I knew people who were like that character. I grew up around those kinds of girls, and I had a lot of empathy and understanding for that kind of need for attention and love in a misguided way." It was her first recurring role since her time on The Nanny, and her incredible performance undoubtedly helped her secure the next one. Heroes was a breakout hit for several actors, including Hayden Panettiere. Madeline Zima was already established and had been acting for more than 17 years when she was cast in the role of Gretchen Berg, who roomed with and had a major crush on Panettiere's Claire Bennett in Season 4. Although Zima's character was only present for half of the episodes of the final season, she had also been wrapping up her final appearances on Californication and working on a couple of movies, so the experience served her well. Zima spoke about joining the cast of Heroes during her time at the 2009 BAFTA LA Tea Party. When asked if she would be playing a good character or an antagonist on the show, she teased, "Well, you never really know, actually, because they tell you one thing, but then they'll set up a whole foundation and rip it out from underneath you as far as twists and turns are concerned on that show." Without giving too much away, Zima enthused that the uncertainty of her character was a big part of the fun. 27 years after David Lynch captivated audiences with the groundbreaking murder mystery series Twin Peaks, its third season finally hit Showtime. Twin Peaks: The Return was released in 2017 as an 18-episode limited series that reintroduced Special Agent Dale Cooper and enjoyed an incredible critical reception.
What about the FBI? I am the FBI.
Another Lynch project in the works was a big deal, so while it was being made, production was incredibly hush-hush. Madeline Zima appeared in the first 2 episodes of the series, and the role was as much of a surprise to her fans as it was to her. In a 2017 interview with Vulture, the actor described the audition process for it, stating, "It wasn't like a normal audition. I went in there and they asked me some questions. Mainly, I was just meant to talk. I didn't even know what I was auditioning for. I had no idea." Even though rumors were floating around that Lynch was considering her for Twin Peaks: The Return, casting had given her a completely different title, and there was no script to work from, so she didn't believe it. She explained, "So much in Hollywood is hot air and BS. I've just learned to be either discriminating or not cynical per se, but wary of most projects, especially things that sound too good to be true, like something involving David Lynch." Nevertheless, she got to play the character of Tracy for 2 episodes, an absolute dream for any fan of Lynch's work. Fans of DC Comics are likely familiar with HBO's Doom Patrol, its series about superhero outcasts coming together to fight evil. After a successful 3-season run, the show's 4th season introduced Madeline Zima as Casey Brink, also known as Space Case, in 2022. Playing a superhero at least once is likely on many an actor's bucket list, but as excited as Zima was to take on the role, she said that it's never easy to join an already established cast. In a December 2022 interview with Popternative, the actor explained, "It's so new kid on the block. Like, where do I sit at lunch? Am I gonna make any friends? Like, I hope somebody likes me because I'm stuck in Atlanta for, 5 months, and I'd love to not be alone the entire time." Luckily, Zima has had years of experience walking onto new sets, and despite her concerns, she clearly brought something special to the character. Show creator Jeremy Carver, for one, couldn't be happier with her performance. Speaking with Entertainment Weekly following the actor's debut on Doom Patrol, he said, "I can't speak highly enough of the bright-eyed nuance that she brings to the character. It's really wonderful to watch that character and Madeline progress over the course of the season."
I want to meet whoever wrote our story and make them write us a new one.